How we doing?
Man, I'm doing awesome.
Yeah, you. I'd feel awesome too after coming off and that win and then having a good weekend. It seems like I got a chance to get out and do a couple of different things y'all don't normally get to do on Saturdays. Go out there and scout a little bit, but we're going to jump right off into that game last week. If you're just tuning in, if you didn't get a chance to catch that game last week, the Bullfrogs won 66-0 over Diamond Hill Jarvis, very young team out there. But I on the radio, Coach, we talked a little bit. I think Diamond Hill Jarvis a little bit set in a bad position. The Bullfrogs come off of a big win against Kennedale and come into that Diamond Hill Jarvis game turned all the way up to a different level. I don't think that a lot of people have seen with in terms of execution and just come out with just all the grit in the world just to go out there and just stand up and continue. It was almost like there was a fifth quarter from the Kennedale game coming out bright and early on that Jarvis game.
Well, first of all, Coach Cruz and his staff doing a good job over there, and you're going to say, well, Coach, how are they doing a good job? Coach Cruz wasn't hired till late July, and
sound familiar?
To go in there and they're running an offense, they're running a defense, they've got special teams going. They started off behind the eight ball with the situation they were put in, but I think Coach Cruz doing a good job. And the kids wasn't trying to fight, they wasn't trying to argue, and the kids out there playing football and having fun. So you could tell what Coach Cruz and his staff are focused on. They're focused on building that program and getting it going. So I was very complimentary to him and complimentary to the situation. We took advantage of some busted plays on their part and some situations. For example, the very first time we had a punt return called, and a young man was able to go through there and put his hand up and block it and get a safety, and just kind of shot themselves in the foot in situations. But it was a good game for us. We got a chance to play a lot of our kids who don't normally get a lot of reps. Got a chance to get them some plays and get them some work. When at this level here in the 4A program, at 4A level, you've got kids. I'm sitting there watching this practice right now, but we just went an hour of offense, and now we're going to go an hour of defense. So you've got kids who don't, if they're a 2 or 3, don't oftentimes to get all those reps to work with those particular plays. So whether or not they got a chance to play, they got a chance to get in there and run defense, run offense. We got some special teams kids in there as well. So I'm very proud of our kids. I thought we kept our focus. I thought the coaching staff kept our focus, and overall it was a successful night, not just in a win-loss situation, but for our kids getting some much-needed rest from the week before from the Kennedale game. Anytime you play a Kennedale team and Coach Barrett, they're very physical. And, I was talking to Coach Barrett because our JV played them again the next week. So our JV played them the week we played Kennedale, and then played them again last week because Diamond Hill Jarvis did not have a JV team. And Coach Barrett said the same thing about us. They were very. I won't say beat up, but I'm gonna say banged up. And so whether or not we got a chance to give our kids who has bumps and bruises the time to relax a little bit, play them in the first half, and other kids got a chance to play. So overall, I thought it was a good night for us. Also, you mentioned a while ago as far as coming off of a win over Kennedale, oftentimes you lose focus. I thought 2 years ago, last year when we beat Springtown, I thought we went into the next game, which was against Decatur, and I thought we should have beat Decatur. And I thought we went in there kind of cocky. We did not know how to win, did not know how to carry the victory from Springtown over. So I was pleased with our work of our week of workout last week. I was pleased on how we took that situation into the game against Diamond Hill Jarvis, and we stayed focused. And overall, I thought it was a good week for us.
I did as well too. We had people chiming in, and good old Johnny Wheeler chimed in. I always love to hear from that guy. And those games are a hard call to come out and kind of just really trying to really keep around that. But there was lots of great things outside of football that you could pull from that game from both the Bullfrogs and the Eagles. And you already had touched on it. But I thought the Eagles, even though they hadn't scored a point in the whole season, those boys came out and they continued to play with class, even losing, and our boys picking them up, at the end, when two teams, they don't just go to the 50-yard line, but when you see two teams come together at the end of the game and really kind of shake it up, and everybody realize the Eagles know the Bullfrogs were going to win. I take that. The reason why I take that is because you can kind of see it in the kids. But the Bullfrogs really took – it felt like they took the Eagles under their wing a little bit, and they knew they were playing a young team. I mean, there's an old saying you told me you got from a coach before – however many underclassmen you play is how many games it may end up costing you. And the Eagles have struggled all season long, but coming out and playing, and you mentioned the 2s and 3s playing, coming off that little run of what I was saying there, how important is it that you have a kind of a lack of better term
there the other night and play against an opponent that's mixing things up? So they got to get in there and talk. They've got to get in there and communicate. If you're an offensive lineman, of where they're lining up on us, and you're running those plays. So I thought it was just very important for us to get those kids some reps, some quality reps, especially this time of year. Because we've got 3 games here all back to back. We've got Western Hills and we've got Dunbar and Eastern Hills. All 3 of them have different positives in their favor. They've got some speed. They've got some athletes over there. So having the depth that we're going in right now, we're healthy. Our kids are healthy. We've got the depth coming off last week, so I'm feeling good about things right now, Joe. I really am.
Yeah, Coach. I want to touch on one thing, just kind of giving just some information out there. How hard? I know when you came on, one of the big things you see in a program 5 seasons ago, and maybe it was the first and second season you saw a little bit of that. How hard is it as a coach to really to get those players to stay focused, not just on the field, but in the classroom and keeping those in? Because I know Diamond Hill, just hearing around the community what happened with them with a JV or a freshman team, is it had to do with some unfocused, some grades, and some different things where they weren't able to carry that team. But you guys continue to carry team after team after team now. But how hard was that early on? And how important is that to really emphasize that, getting those grades and keeping that focus in the classroom?
Well, when we got here 5 years ago, we talked about foundation. We talked about putting the rebar in the foundation. We talked about building the proper ditches and the ditch depth, all the things it takes to build that foundation. And first of all, to build the foundation, you got to start off with a great coaching staff. You want to talk about grades and things like that, and the importance of grades. Tracy Raines was our academic coordinator for us, and at the last school we came from, Coach Raines understands grades. He understands those kids working those classes. So my hat's off to what he does and works with the kids, keeps the kids focused. I can't release things over the air, but we went to a 9-week schedule. So you got to take roll after the first 6 weeks. You got to take grades after the first 6 weeks. But then you also have to take grades after the 9-6 weeks, so 3 weeks later. So there's 2 chances there back to back that you could lose kids, and we've lost a very few kids. And I'm just so proud of the kids staying focused. Kids want to play football, and that's one of the reasons back in 1986 that H. Ross Perot suggested us going to no pass, no play. Back then it was you could fail 2 classes of your ones. Of your schedule. Then it became you could fail 1 class, and now it's 0. So our kids want to play, they want to stay out here, and that's the importance of the things we're doing, whether it be band, choir, athletics, showing animals in FFA, competing in FFA. It's about connectivity and being connected to something. You've got to pass your classes. I'm very, very proud of our kids, but I'm proud of our coaching staff staying up on this and keeping our kids focused.
Coach, I appreciate that. I know it's a little bit different approach than what we normally do, but I wanted to bring that out.
That's this time of year, and we're coming off we lost very, very few on the first 6 weeks, and now we're coming off that 9-6 weeks, so 3 weeks later. So it's back to back. Hey, Joe, if you don't mind, let's get Coach Raines up here because he's kind of walked away from practice.
Yeah, let's get him up here.
Get him up here and talk to him, and then while we're doing that, I'm gonna get Coach McElhenney down here, and then me and you can finish up afterwards.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
This broadcast this morning is brought to you by Eagles Nest, located at 8455 Boat Club Road, Suite 100, just up the road here from Lake Worth High School. Stop by Eagles Nest, get you some breakfast, lunch, dinner, something to drink, something to eat, watch a game. Check it out, enjoy the atmosphere. Eagles Nest Sports Restaurant. Good morning, Coach.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
It's a good Monday morning, isn't it?
It's a good Monday morning, even though the Cowboys, but, anyways, I'm not worried about Cowboys. We're about the Bullfrogs. So here we sit looking looking like we're on the right path for sure. So coming off of that Kennedale win, I just mentioned to Coach Welch, coming off that Kennedale win, it seemed like the Bullfrogs were in the fifth quarter from that game, and the Eagles had to reap every last bit of that.
We were working on some stuff the other night. I thought the kids did a great job of coming out and executing the plays. And, when you go into it, you have this scheme, but our field position was so good because of our special teams and our defense the other night. We didn't necessarily get the yardage we wanted out of the game, but we don't play for yardage. We play for victories, and so that's what we ended up getting. We got a lot of reps the other night. Medrano was our leading rusher. I think he had 13 rushes for 155 yards. We've got some selfless players on our ball club, and I talked to Damian Moore at halftime. He had one carry for 13 yards. I said, Damian, there's a good chance you're not going to run any more plays tonight. You're not going to get the yardage you need. He had a good average going in, and that matters to some young kids and things like that. He said, Coach, I want all the other running backs to have a chance to score. So, when you got players like that, you can put a team together. And
100%. But I think he got his all-purpose yards.
He did. He did. That's what I told him. Because I don't know, the first one was an interception return or something like that. And because I was going to rotate series with Damian and Medrano that first half there, and I said, Damian, that was your series. I said, I was up in the press box where I told the coaches on the sideline, I said, that was his series, so he doesn't get to go back. So the next time we go on offense, and then he ran a punt return back. I said, there's your series again. But he did a good job. He did a great job. He got his touchdowns out of it, and it was a great victory for us, and we got some good work out of it. I think we got better the other night, and so we've got 3 important ball games in front of us and got to take care of these. So,
yeah, it was fantastic seeing all the different hands touch the ball. But one of the things last night not last night, but on Friday night, getting to see against it, what could really stand out, and I could see a little bit more maybe because they weren't able to apply as much pressure as they'd like to. Just the unison of how that offensive line is really playing and pushing together, and you could really see the movement in that game.
Yep.
You could really see a lot of that, and I know that happens in a lot of games, but it looks a little different when there's a lot of other pressure coming in, and it's hard to see that. So,
I was glad to see. They ran some blitzes at us. Of course, anybody's going to try to put pressure on us and stuff, and our linemen were able to see that and pick it up, and that was a positive for us, very big positive. They did a great job inside on the blocking. Very seldom was it a linebacker or a defensive lineman that was making a tackle. It was always in the secondary, so that tells you that your guys up front are doing a great job for you. So,
yeah. So coming off the Kennedale win and coming into the Jarvis win, where was the offense's head at coming into that? I know what the end score was, but where were we at coming into that game?
I think Coach Welch mentioned it earlier when we played Springtown last year. And, we came back, and we thought we could just walk out on the field and beat anybody at that time. Well, we went back and lost to Decatur the next week. And so I thought they had a good mindset. We coached them hard that next week, just keeping them on the right track. Diamond Hill's not ranked real high, so they thought they were going to be able to walk out there and take the victory. But they had a great week of practice, and so that's what we used it as, getting better, and then taking it to the ball game and executing. And I thought they kept their heads in the game. So.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done. That's why I call it the fifth quarter of the Kennedale game, because when they came out, it was just on fire.
Just continued on.
Both sides of the ball. So I want to jump off into this next week a little bit, and I'm gonna say this, not for you guys, but I'm gonna say this. For the next 2 weeks, you have Western Hills this week, and then Eastern Hills, and then you finish up with Dunbar.
Dunbar first.
Dunbar before? Okay, sorry. So you have Dunbar. So you have Western Hills, another team I know, just being out here and following this team in Western Hills, now that we're back in the same district. So there, for whatever reason, it's the weirdest thing. It's a little bit, the kids know each other a lot. It's a little bit more of a rivalry team, but looking at records and looking at what they're doing and all those things always come into a factor when it comes into young men and thinking about what they can come in and chest out. We talked about being overconfident after the Springtown game last year and then maintaining focus after the Kennedale win this year and doing what you did. How hard is it going to be to continue to do that? Because looking at Western Hills and looking at Eastern Hills, definitely those two look a little bit notch above the Eagles, but not very much. How hard is it going to be to keep that focused?
Well, all three of those teams have already played each other and beat each other. Dunbar beat Western Hills. Western Hills beat Eastern Hills, and Eastern Hills just upset Dunbar the other day. So they, so they've all beat each other. So athletically, they are all very similar. They are all very good teams. And I told our team just right before we started running our team drills, just a few minutes ago, I called them up and I told them, I said, guys, you have put yourself in a situation where these next 3 games are the most important 3 games of the season. But the most important one of all is which one? And they said, the next one. And I said, that's right. This week is the most important game. Y'all put yourself in this situation because we've got a chance to win an outright district championship, and every one of these games matter, and we got to have them. So I think they're going to be focused. Western Hills, if you look at them defensively, they've got athletes all over the field. And so we've got to stay on our blocks. We've got to execute well to be able to move that ball up and down the field. So,
yeah, I think in looking at film and seeing that, Jarvis this last week, you saw little flashes. They had some athletes out there, some little flashes. But then when you look at Western Hills Dunbar and you look at Eastern Hills, I mean the points for those guys, you can just tell they can put up some points.
Yes, they can.
Each one of those teams, and we've dealt with them before. And you have that. And it's a matter of where that's going to go.
In a second, they got 2 corners on the outside that have unbelievable skills and speed. I think they're both kickoff returners also, and they've taken 3 or 4 or 5, I don't know how many, back on kickoff return. So they got unbelievable speed. They've got big guys up front. They got good linebackers. It's going to be a good match for us, and we got to execute.
Awesome, Coach. Well, I'll let you get back to it, get back to playing, and we'll be back live on Friday night getting ready for that game.
Thank you, Joey. Appreciate it.
Thank you. This next segment of the broadcast being brought to you by Stephen Barber, State Farm Insurance Agent. Take care of all your auto, home, life, health, renters, and business. Contact him at 817-238-2265. Stephen Barber, State Farm Insurance Agent. Good morning, Coach. How we doing?
Hey, good morning.
We can slide over here a little bit so you get you out of that sun a little bit.
That's all right.
Well, it shines off that red face a little bit.
Well, sun's always shining on me, Joey.
That's right. That's right. I like it.
I am I'm a ray of sunshine.
Ray of sunshine.
That's what
Well,
my wife says anyway.
I hope she's listening right now.
Well, last night watching that Cowboy game, she was not calling me a ray of sunshine, but we won't go there.
Oh, I'm telling you. But I do have to say, I mean, if we're going to, me and Coach White, we're talking back and forth, chatting back and forth, and I said, man, I tell you, this looks a little bit like the Lake Worth Eagles game, but the Eagles on this one are killing it. Yeah, but so let's jump into it. I've been talking a little bit with both coaches about the 5th quarter of the Kennedale game. I know y'all didn't approach it that way, but man, the way you guys came out against Jarvis looked like we were still amped up from the Kennedale game, whereas the year before, and we talked about it a little bit too, after the Springtown game, we came in kind of flat against Decatur. But it was like the 5th quarter of the Kennedale game against Jarvis. Let's jump into it.
Yeah, first quarter was big. We knew coming in that we needed to be solid. We wanted to have a week where we improved ourselves, and we did that. We were focused on little things, things that no one else would see, but coaches see. Like when you hit, we had some linebackers who were hitting the week before, and they weren't running their feet as well. And so we worked real hard. And first 2 or 3 times, we saw that, and so we definitely got better. Working on alignments with safeties and defensive line, using their hands a little bit better. And so we got after it, and we had fun. We scored a couple times on defense. That was good. We were keeping up with the offense there for a while. We had a safety to begin with, and a pick 6, and then a punt return. So those were big. Those were fun, and like you said, all that was first quarter.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump into a thing. I try to jump in, try to add a little bit as we're getting ready to. We only have. We're 3 games out in the end of the regular seasons here. I'm trying to jump in and dig a little deeper. A lot of people hear football terms and talks of starting fast. Mm-hmm. Can you go into why that is important and what that means about starting fast on defense?
Well,
a lot of people talk about offense, but defense wants to do that the same.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just setting the tone, and it doesn't matter what sport it is or whatever. I can relate it to golf. If you get up there to play golf and you're playing somebody head to head, and that first drive they just smash it right down the center of the fairway, put some pressure on you. And it's the same thing in football or baseball. That pitcher comes out and he throws 3 straight gassers and right by you, sets a tone. And so that's what we're always trying to do is get out there and set a tone and sometimes, hey, that offense that you're playing, they're trying to set a tone as well. And so it's like boxers sometimes. It's going to be, you're going to be in there in a prize fight. I mean, they're both going to be boxing. And so, who can take it and who can keep giving it the longest. And that's kind of our mentality. And we've been doing a good job of that. I can think of one time this year where we bent, and we stopped them on the opening drive, and then after that didn't have anything. But they came out firing, and we came out firing, and so we just want to get off to a great start, and then kind of establish an attitude out there. And so that's what that's all about.
I like to hear that. How difficult is it to come off of that Kennedale win and to come out just mind focused and blazing forward?
Well, for some teams it is difficult. For these guys, it wasn't difficult at all. They've got the right mindset. Got a good bunch of leaders, and they know. Hey, it's time to. I always use the term flush it. You flush it, you move on. Good, bad, or indifferent. You
whether it floats or sinks, just flush it and keep going.
That's it. And I mean, you can't. Coach Welch always uses the term "the bull don't know what you did yesterday." So you could have rode that bull yesterday, but you get on it today, he's still going to try to buck you off and spike you and step on you and all that stuff. And he doesn't care that you rode him yesterday. So, that's the same thing. We got to. It's a new game, and you just got to. A lot of it's with maturity too, and this is a very mature group. They've come a long way, and we got a lot of seniors, and they understand. They remember, and so they learn from your mistakes, and they were certainly ready for Thursday night.
Oh yeah, that Kennedale game looked like it was a battle for King of the Hill. Mm-hmm. The momentum it was percentages or degrees. Tipple and top and Bullfrogs came out on top, and in the Jarvis game, they came out and just took over the hill and said, we're going to defend this hill, and nobody's going to do it. I saw there at the end, we talked a lot. We knew we had the 2s and 3s in there on defense, and Jarvis got a little bit of a push and got down in there. It was a big stand.
Yeah, it was. It was a good stand. And they, the kids were playing hard, and a couple of guys getting some experience that they needed to get some experience, and made a mistake or two that they probably won't make again. So it was good that they got in there and got after it. We had and really we had a penalty that kept the drive alive, or they wouldn't have even been down in there. And so that's those kind of things. That happens, and then. We bowed our neck at the end, and it became one of those things. Are we going to let them score? And they didn't. So stopped them on 4th down, and it was big. It was big, and it was good for those kids. The kids they felt real good about that.
That's awesome, Coach. Closing out that game and going into the Western Hill Cougars, I believe it is. What's the attack there? Seeing a little bit of film. They got some kids that's got some speed. Got some speed. Like to run the ball, throw the ball a little bit. What are we attacking there?
Well, Joey, they're talented. Like Coach Rain said earlier, they're talented across the board. One of their kick returners, number 11. He's one of their wide. He's their X. And we've definitely got to contain him. They have 3 other receivers, 10, 5, and 8, who are all adequate, good athletes. But, I mean, 10's he's a difference maker. And then in the backfield, 28's actually their number 1 receiver. He's not and he's a good running back as well. But he's not he's not a game breaker kind of kid. He'll run over you. Big, powerful, bruising kind of running back. We got to do a good job tackling him and getting him down. But it all stems around number 14, their running back. I mean, quarterback. That quarterback, he throws the ball well. He's got a cannon. I saw him throw nearly 60 yards in one game. When he wants to, he can get it. He's got a pretty quick release. But ultimately, the thing we've got to watch is his legs, because he gets back there and we get things covered up. He will pull it down and take it off. Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson kind of athlete. I mean, he's the real deal. He's a excellent athlete, and so we've got to contain him and get him down, and and that's the number one thing: get him down. He's gonna get his yards. He's gonna get some first downs, but we gotta do our job and get him down. And if we can get some pressure on him, he will make a mistake or two. And so we got some guys sometimes who we can get some pressure with. I think we can get some pressure and then maybe get a turnover or two. That would be huge in that game. If we can get a couple turnovers, I feel really good that we'll be on the right side of things.
Well, I'd like to hear it, Coach. I'm looking forward to it. I'll let you get back to it out there.
Bet.
Appreciate you.
You bet. Thanks, Joey.
Thanks, Coach. Coach Welch, we're going to have you kind of nestle in here a little bit, trying to get out of that sun a little bit just because of how bright it is. So you got to get a little close. You get warm in the corner over here. You can see the picture there if you want to slide in just a little bit.
All right, Joy.
I'll get you right here.
Say 1,
right.
2. There you go.
I got you up right there. All right, Coach. So we got through Diamond Hill, the fifth quarter of the Kennedale game into Diamond Hill, and that's out of the way. It's flushed. It's flushed for the term that Coach McInally brought up. So going into Western Hills, and I know we don't. I know around here the way you guys coach the boys, you don't look past the week at hand. But I can't help but ask. Coach Raines brought it up. The position that you guys are in, you see what's ahead of you. You see the talent that you're having to face. The chickens in the boiler, and the water's bubbling. The pressure just keeps getting higher and higher. The expectation, fans watching, the expectation of the kids, the whole 9 yards. It's a high pressure situation. How do you guys deal with it? How are you guys going to roll into the last 3 games of the season?
Well, I think what I said earlier about the foundation and understanding the foundation. Of course, Coach Raines and McInally, they've been there. They've played for state championships. They've coached teams that went to those state championships. So for us, it goes back to those. We have a lot of sayings around here, but the Bull don't care what happened yesterday. Vance brought that up a while ago, or Coach Raines did. I don't know, but
he stole it from you.
But other ones are very simply this: that scoreboard takes care of itself. And if you put the work in every day and stay focused on yourself, getting yourself better, making sure your body is healthy, making sure your grades are ready, making sure you're preparing yourself on the football field and in the meeting rooms, watching that film and understanding your opponents, things take care of themselves. And that's the attitude this coaching staff has, and we've had for many, many years. So it's just this is the most important game this week. Why? It's the next game.
That's right.
And that's just how we coach. That's how we feel. And when it's all said and done, when the dust settles, we look back and say, whew, what a great year. The first year we were here, we went 5-5 regular season. Second year we went 5-5 regular season. Next year we went 6-4, and next year 8-2. So, we've gotten better each year. And to me, I think it's because of the foundation. I think it's because our kids understand the harder they work, the harder it is to surrender. Scoreboard takes care of itself. Bull don't care what happened today. Bull don't care what happened yesterday. All the things it takes to build those things, Joey, and that's just it's kind of cliche, but that's what we feel like.
Yeah, and right now I know we have people tuning in online and listening and everything else. I don't want to jump into the 12th man. Let's say what some teams call it in the college realm. That crowd that's been here every home game. How important is that to bring that for that community to be here to support?
When I got hired 5 years ago, I was told there's not a crowd, and I'll never forget the first play of the game. Coach Raines called a halfback pass. We threw a halfback pass and scored. my wife and a couple other coaches' wives got up and started cheering. And they sat down real quietly and asked me after the game, "Are we supposed to cheer if you score a touchdown?" I don't think Lake Worth is used to that, and so I appreciate our fan base. I appreciate where we've came. Why? Well, you mentioned Johnny Wheeler a while ago. This radio show that you've carried on and helped get started 5 years ago. All the things that's taken to be put in place is now coming to fruition. I really appreciate Mr. Kading and our band and what they do. You're going to look up there Friday night and you're going to see a stands that has a good amount of people. We've had to revamp our security, and I really appreciate the way our fans are buying into that situation to be safe for our fans and our kids and everybody. We've went to a clear bag policy. And overall, most everybody's pretty acceptable of that. And we're doing it for the safety of our people. So having had more security and take care of the situation, I love Lake Worth and where we're going and the foundation we're building. So you're going to have those problems. You're going to have the stands that are packed. You're going to have people in church wanting to talk to you about the game. You're going to have people around town at the restaurants saying, "Hey, great ball game, coach," and talking to the kids. So that's just part of what goes with it. Everybody wants to shoot bullets at Alabama, but they've won, and they're proven. And for somebody else to win some ball games here, you want to shoot back at Alabama. Don't take care of yourself. Be proud of what you have. Don't tear down somebody else. So I'm proud of what we have, and we're just trying to build ourselves up and get better and better each week.
And I love it. I love seeing it. That's a reason. There's a reason why. I came back and I'm so blessed that you guys invited me to be a part of this journey. I've loved every second of it these last 5 years. For old guys, that don't go on to play college ball, and some people that move away from their hometown, and some people that come back. I came back and got a chance to be involved in what you guys have done here. It's just tremendous with the kids and the players, just the atmosphere, the attitude. It carries the school. The school carries not just you guys alone, but Kading and Whitener, everybody else that's running this program. Lake Worth right now, in words of kids being able to be well coached, right now Lake Worth is a spot to be at, and what I believe at. And there's a lot of talk going on in the surrounding cities with what experience happens here. A couple weeks ago when we had Sergeant First Class Bowman drop in. I explained to some kids that asked why again, and I had to explain to them. I said, what? One of the things I said is that the crowd that comes here, that's the opposing team, we create an experience here that people may not get a chance to experience, and that's what you guys have done. And these kids, these football players, these fans, these alumni, there's so many alumni that are coming out to these games that I haven't seen in years, that it shows me that the community is loving the school, is engaged, and come back to it. And I have to attribute that to you, the administration of this school, Dr. Rosemary Neshba, and staff. It's been phenomenal, Coach. It's been phenomenal.
I really appreciate you mentioning all those people, and Tammy Thomas doing what she did for the school.
Oh,
yes. For the homecoming parade. I want to mention Bobby Stoltz. Started the Alumni Association and getting that going. He and some friends. I think they had, I don't know, I'm just going to throw a number out there. I think around 350 alumni at the alumni party before the homecoming game. So you're right. People are buying in and building that and jumping on top of the foundation that's been built. And I'm so appreciative, Joy. I really am.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Coach, I have one thing before we get out of here. Do you got any closing remarks you want to say?
Well, again, I'm very happy with our kids, where they're working. I'm happy with our coaching staff. Very, very pleased with Lake Worth and the people involved, like you mentioned a while ago. But I'm gonna give credit where credit's due, and I just praise God for all these things that's happening to us. So praise God, and let's keep giving Him the credit and glory.
Amen. Amen to that for sure. Hey, I do have one thing for you. One thing to surprise you with.
Uh-oh.
This week, you're hearing it right now. We're going to have Mr. Johnny Wheeler on the radio with us this weekend. He's coming up. He said he's seen enough of it from the broadcast. He needs to come on up here and hop on the stream again. Felita's out of town in Hawaii with their daughter, and so he's like, man, I got to get up there. He goes, don't worry about anything else. He goes, I'm coming up. I want to get back up there. I got to see this Bullfrog team for myself. So that's my big reveal for the week.
Praise God, and I hope it brings Jeremiah his bullfrog with him.
That's
and,
right.
I tell you what, Joey, Johnny and us, we go way back, and what he's done over the years with our prior school we were at, the Champs Heart of Texas Bowl, just all the things that Johnny Wheeler's involved in. I'm so appreciative of him and love him. So that's awesome news. Thanks for telling me that.
Well, I'm glad to be the one to reveal it to you. Well, guys, last couple little plugs here. Thank you so much to Eagles Nest Sports Restaurant and Stephen Barber, State Farm Insurance Agent. We thank you guys so much for being proud sponsors of this station. You guys really help it keep rolling along. Thank you guys so much for your sponsorship. If you're listening to this show and you want a sponsorship or you want to donate or anything like that, you can just reach out via DM on the channel. Reach out to Coach Welch, myself. You can find my number out there as well, too. We'd love for you to be a part of it. But, hey, coming up this Friday night here at Kitchell Memorial Stadium, Bullfrogs face off against the Cougars. 7 o'clock. Get here early. Claim those seats with the back, sit them in the middle. Get here early. We'd love for your support. We love you guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And as always, till next time, for Coach Welch and Lake Worth ISD, I'm Joey Wilcox and Bullfrog Radio.